You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
welcome to the show. My name's Dave, and this is a Fistful of Podcasts from FFOPradio.com. Back for another great week. Don't look at that Chinese website.
He's not going to keep advertising them if they don't give him money.
Seriously, you can't not bring it up anymore.
The elephant that's constantly in the room.
Always in the room.
I think maybe I don't know. I thought maybe I would do the same thing, like wait for somebody else to go out of business and take their stuff and hope they come back.
We're Sears now.
You thought it was going to be Jenko, and that didn't work out for us.
Right. That would have been so awesome. But I digress. Guys, my name's Dave. It's Fistful Podcast. Let me introduce you, as usual, to my co-host, all the way from the Reno Sparks area. And up first, we have one Mr. Andrew Bergevin.
You're already swimming in it.
Giardia?
Yeah, Giardia.
Is this your new catchphrase?
We're all out of toner.
Oh, okay. I get it. Okay. I get the reference. Next to him, obviously, we have one Mr. Adam J. Hubbard, Esquire.
Ebola, I don't even know.
I was Ebola Dover? I was also in Dover at the time.
There's something.
I had Ebola in Dover.
I had Ebola in Dover. Also, there's Krista over there on the couch back on the show, finally.
For now. And,
whatever. We'll take it when we can get it. So, guys, I want to touch base with you on a couple of things first, because ever since I mentioned my regular idea of highway hats, I have been keeping an extra sharp eye out, and I could probably have 3 stores stocked by now.
3 whole stores?
Yeah. I now that I'm like, yeah, that was a good idea, I'm actively pursuing it imaginarily. So every time I see a hat, I make a mental note and I say, is it now time to make this fantasy reality? Should I get a small business loan? Tell them I'm going to go buy a van for my cousin to run around and collect hats.
Is this the dirty, ratty-ass hat that I nailed to the wall and say, this was our first hat?
Yeah, like, that's... Do I start a bar then? Like have a...
Yeah, of course.
Where do I go from here? What I'm saying is...
It's a bar and hat store. It's also reclaimed liquor.
Yeah, it starts out as Highway Hats, then it becomes Highway Hats and Grill, then it becomes Highway Hats Bar and Grill, and then we just turn it into a titty bar and there's no more hats.
It's also an AC/DC bar, and we'll name it Highway to Hats.
Jesus Christ.
And then we'll get sued by AC/DC and we're back where we started.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Probably not for the best. But I just want to say, like, I hope everybody's keeping an eye out, because I may, not in the too distant future, I may call out to people, like, before I can afford the old Ford Aerostar, I might be like, hey, if you're out there and it's easy pickings, would you grab me that hat and I'll get a P.O. box and we'll start fucking stocking the store?
Just start sending David nasty hats.
Give a hat, leave a hat.
No, this isn't we're gonna start with the pristine hats. This isn't like Adam. We're not to the point where we're gonna be collecting every hat. I'm not doing an Adam yet.
What?
But remember in the last episode where I was like, I only want pristine hats, but you were like, get the ratty ones too for the cheap customers?
Oh, right.
Yeah, cheap
I'm not doing that yet. I want only good hats.
Oh, okay, I guess.
For now.
I guess.
Because I think we could probably start out as like an Etsy or like an online store. Like it would be a nice bougie boutique. And I'll take, like maybe Crystal, like I'll get her in like an old 50s style dress and apron. She'll be like rolling out biscuits just surrounded by hats that have been cleaned. But we found them on the highway.
This better be clean.
Just random tools that have nothing to do with hats. Why is she holding a rolling pin?
I'll be in the car, like in the garage, working on my car and like looking over, and there's hats just everywhere all over my car. And I'm like, Highway Hats got it again. Like the prices are too good. I had to get all of them or whatever.
But David, speaking of Etsy stores, we were I was browsing Etsy the other day, and we saw this lady who was selling magic like blessings and curses.
Oh yeah,
that's the beauty of Etsy.
She'd give you like a little gree bag, and she had a little altar and shit.
Oh, okay.
Can you guess how much she was charging per blessing?
Bet you can't.
here's the thing. If you're going to charge at all for them, you have to be insane. So the price already starts off high, I feel.
Any
so
price is too high.
Any price is too high, but I'm going to say like $75 is an outrageous price.
You are so stupid.
You are so dumb.
Is it more?
Yes.
It's way more.
What?
$786.
Way more.
More than that?
Oh my God.
What? Hold on. Wait. Before you tell me how much these things cost, please tell me what is promised to me.
Oh, there was a bunch of ones like wealth or love or all that shit.
Anything you could need.
I want like 4-star ratings from people who got the things they got wished upon. Right? Like, I don't want to sit here with my thumb up my ass.
People who buy these things are already like, oh, look, I found $1. The wealth is working. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars.
Right, yeah. So, okay, tell me how much it costs.
$20,000.
Oh,
What,
my God.
20,000?
That's more than a car.
Does she have any reviews?
She did. I'd have to find her again. Like, it was just random. Like, okay, here you are.
I
got bad news, folks. If you want a blessing for wealth and you pay $20,000 for it, you're going the wrong way.
You're never going to get it. I think if you're stupid enough to buy a blessing for anything for $20,000, let's say it was a quarter and you're waiting in a lobby of a restaurant to be seated. That's not a bad gamble. I'll take that as an acceptable loss for a future foretold.
Mm-hmm.
Or a blessing or whatever the card says. You can wish yourself big or small. I don't give a fuck.
I hope they give me free appetizers.
20.
I hope they give me 2 seats. I hope they seat me in the kitchen.
Why would you want to sit there, Adam?
Because
Like,
then you
that's
can
the
see the
noisiest-
food prep like the whole time, and you can really
It's like-
tell the
Yeah,
quality.
then you get an experience.
Yeah.
That's the noisiest part
It's
of
the
the
chef's table.
experience.
It's like the show Hell's Kitchen, except it's just regular kitchen.
You want to be seated? You want to be seated in the toilet so I can just shit while I eat.
See, I feel like that's a bad seat.
It might be, but we're gonna try it. Wait, what was I talking about?
You were talking about getting some blessing at a weird theme restaurant.
Oh, right, yeah. So if you get a blessing from Zoltar for a quarter, I get that. Like, that doesn't hurt anybody. And let's say you want to buy tarot cards, but when you get into like what would cripple the average person, should you take it from them?
Now I just
that's
want a restaurant where I'm seated by Zoltar.
What if now this would be
Cucini restaurant.
this would be obviously it would cost us. This is $1 million idea because we would need $1 million to do it. But what if we started a restaurant that's like a Chuck E. Cheese for adults, where like at each table is like maybe like a 1/3 to like whatever scale Zoltar or any of those old like action fortune teller things, and no kids were allowed, and it was interesting and fun, and there was like video games and stuff.
No, see,
Like,
it took a horrifying turn in my mind because I was wondering why would you need a robot at your table all the time? But if it's a hibachi grill, then the robot's preparing the food. But now we've just given robots knives and a stovetop.
And really, the only thing he can do is go yes or no, so he's just waving it at you. Menacingly.
Brandishing a knife.
his skills are limited to like rolling coins and holding a crystal ball.
But
Plus, he's behind glass.
so
That's true.
$1
He
million
tries to flip the shrimp at you, and it just hits the glass and
Yeah,
streaks
it's just
down.
nothing but smears all the inside of the.
So
Just
we're
like
gonna
a pile of rotting food at the like the bottom of the glass. So he keeps like.
They just can't see him anymore.
Hi,
like some
ha,
more?
hope.
So I'm gonna undercut that lady and only charge $200 for my blessings. But I'm gonna refund you guys the $200. But I need you to buy from my store so you can leave a review, 5 stars.
So here's the thing. Can we start? I am technically a leader of a church. I'm a I'm a pastor, and I technically have a church, and we have a God somewhere. Anyway,
Somewhere around here.
moral of the story is
Mysterious.
I could start selling indulgences, like FFOP
Ooh.
indulgences, like the Catholics did.
Yes, a nice
Interesting.
plenary indulgence. Be like, oh, did you sin? Give me $5.
But I would have to. I would have to have a niche like market. I can't. I wouldn't feel right absolving people like murder, but
Can I be an FFOP sin eater?
oh, maybe. Yeah.
Just eat like some Totinos over somebody's body after they died.
Yeah.
Crunch.
Tastes like sin.
Delicious.
Why was there be not toast? No crunch. Tostino's pizza rolls.
Yeah, but if you do them in
Cook 'em in
the
the oven.
yeah, you do them in the oven like it's a classy deal.
Yeah.
And they crunch?
We'll make it
they're good.
The
crispier.
whole outside.
Oh, I thought he was thinking of, what's the other chip that starts with a T?
Tortillas? Tortilla chips?
No.
Tostitos?
Tostitos, thank you. Listen, I don't eat junk food, guys. I look like this. I just pointed at myself for the listeners.
I look like this.
Picture this.
Picture this in your mind's eye, because that's what I look like. Well, guys, here, I have something.
What is it?
I realize that most of what I say is disregarded because it's irrelevant or it's surface level or, one reason or another. Everybody likes to disregard what I say. But what I'm about to tell you now is something so important that I can't even express it to you in words. So basically what is happening is when Krista goes to, or, orders food from the store, she gets a click list. And what they'll do is sometimes if they don't have the thing that you want, they'll give you a substitution.
What?
Yeah.
And so in my house, the paper towels have been a crapshoot. From 1 week to the next, they could be like recycled, like birthday napkins barely hung together by a dream and like the spit of a worker at the factory. Or they'll be like the good brawny
Artisanal.
stuff. Not artisanal, garbage. It's bad. It's like
Heirloom
the one,
paper towels.
No, it's like the homeless people's blanket made out of a newspaper of paper towels. It's not good. I'm not trying to impress you. It's bad. But sometimes it's good. And here's the thing. I don't know how you feel about this issue, but I remember when all paper towels were one size, they were that square size. Brawny, Bounty, I don't care what you went with, it was the same size. Then, like in 1992, some smarmy jackass was like, what if we cut them into thirds and made everybody's life more miserable?
So that misery
happened.
into the world.
Yeah, because one paper towel was great for any job almost. And two, if you had to pick up something really heinous. If you're cutting them into thirds, now you need somewhere between 2 and 3 fucking sheets. Guess where it was? It was in the one sheet. But I'm not even talking about that. That's off the topic.
Okay, continue.
The topic is, we got some of those paper towels, and it was the ones I noticed, okay, they're in the thirds. This happened 20 years ago. I'm over it. So I ripped them in half. No, I am. Trust me, I am. So I'm using these paper towels that I have now ripped into thirds, and I'm like, dude, and they start like tearing apart. I'm like, what the? These feel like shitty towels. What's the deal? Somebody, I think it's that same fucking guy.
Same maniac.
That same guy, they pulled the oxygen mask away from his wrinkled old corpse long enough for him to have this idea. He said, hey, while you're doing it in thirds, let's cut it again to make each sheet into quarters, essentially. And they put the mask back on him, and as his eyes were rolling back into his head, he had a thought. He willed himself back to life, pulled his own mask away from his mouth, and said, not quite quarters. Make one 27% and one 22. And this motherfucker got his dying wish. All the paper towels that we have now are like thirds and pieces that are like 4.5 inches and pieces that are 0.95 inches. Why? Why not number one just have quarters? Again with the thirds, I gave that a pass because whatever. But when would you cut a paper towel in half and be like, now I want to cut this in half, but not down the middle? No, I don't have a mess big enough for one whole quarter, or maybe I've got a mess that's just a little bit bigger than one whole quarter. Then what am I gonna do?
I don't have this problem.
I mean, I'm fine with the thirds, but I can see the slippery slope that David is currently sliding down. Like,
because
at some point, these paper towels are going to be nothing but perforation.
Yeah, I call them brawny striplins. Each one's the 10th,
like now that they're into 27% sheet and 22% sheet slices. It's impossible to get something that you will put in your hand and wash a window with, because since there are so many fucking perforations, it's like a goddamn pirate treasure map, and it just tears the fuck apart.
Everybody knows pirate treasure maps are notoriously flimsy.
Yeah, you need to find Krista in your house and put the two halves together to find the mess.
Yeah, it's this old tiny
it's the
pirate
boy again.
because of all the dashes, Andy.
I get it.
I
But
just wanted to make sure.
just
Pirates
look at
are
it this
no
way.
laughing matter.
They're teaching adults fractions.
Are they? Because I don't know what the fraction of it is. They didn't on the package. They didn't say, "Hey, now in less convenient 0.27% sheets." And who is this helping? Who was the idiot that cried out for this? Number one, because maybe that guy on his deathbed was fulfilling the wish of some wayward waif he saw on the side of the road, and it was their dying wishes. They were dying of black lung.
And
I don't know. But why?
I wasn't on board with this at first, but as you've gone on, I've hopped aboard your crazy train. Like, there's got to be like a minimum size for a standard mess.
Please.
Like, there's going to be a size that's too small.
Yes. And
then you get too much, and then you're wasting.
yeah, let's say you have a sweaty drink that you put down and then pick up so there's a single ring. I don't want to waste a whole, 9-yard paper towel. Like, the 1/3 was a little bit better, but still annoying.
But is there a size of paper towel too mess, like that you could just toss your fraction of paper towel on it and it perfectly absorbs the mess and isn't too soggy or isn't too much wasted?
According to every single paper towel commercial, it's like, here's the corner of one of ours.
Yeah.
And it drains the whole swimming pool. He's like, look, the blue
You pour a
liquid.
whole bottle of wine.
That's the great thing about a single, like when you had those big sheets, there was no other option, so you didn't have to feel bad about being wasteful. And every commercial taught me that no matter what the mess, one towel could do it, as opposed to the other guys where like the woman's hand is all like the blue liquids everywhere.
David, I have to tell you, the Wikipedia on paper towels does not tell me exactly when this started, but only that rich people tend to buy more paper towels.
Oh.
Rich people.
That's what it says. Places with higher income use more paper towels.
I might be an outlier, but here's the thing. The thing about paper towels is the fact that, yeah, they are a little pricier when, the other option is just having a dish rag. But the sanitary aspect I like to have, because when you wash your hands, all the shit that was left over when you're washing your hands is now in that dryer towel that you are sitting on your counter.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that idea.
Paper towel you can blow your nose into. You can do whatever.
You could just throw it away without doing anything with it.
Yeah.
We're rich. We don't care.
And I am rich. P.S. Spoiler alert. I was playing it up for effect, but I am rich, guys. I blow through paper towels. Like, I get paper towels that are made out of $100 bills exclusively.
This one is gold leaf.
God.
It doesn't clean up anything.
No, all my paper
Make it
towels make the
worse.
mess worse. I mean, you've tried to rub $1 on a mess. It doesn't work.
We've all done that.
Here's something.
Yeah. I've tried making messes go away with money.
Just throwing-
I've tried money go away with messes. I once paid a man to clean up a mess and he didn't do it. So that was a $5 loss. So, I mean, either way, you throw money at the problem or you pay someone, they're going to run away with it.
David just walked outside his house, threw $5 at a kid walking by, like, clean it.
Yeah, I was like, it was one of those days. I was late, so I ran out the front door, and there was one of those kids at the news corner selling the, what do you call them? The newsies. He was the newsie, he had the cap on. I tossed a $5 at him. I said, I spilled some OJ on the floor. There's some paper towels on the counter. Hit it up, and I drove off.
Worst housekeeper
Here's
I ever
my house
had.
key.
Yeah. No, I just left the door open because I wasn't going to trust him with a
good.
key. You kidding me? I said the door's open. Just lock on your way out. And the orange juice was gone and my Xbox. But he's probably sweeping a chimney and has fond memories of Mass Effect or something.
Memories.
More useless paper towel knowledge. Paper towels dry faster than hand dryers, with 90% dryness over only 10 seconds.
Wow.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. When you have something that exists and takes up mass and physical space that is able to suck the water away, yeah, of course, that's why you wipe your hands on the back of your friend's shirt and don't go, you don't ask your friend, hey, can you blow on my hands? No.
So, Dave, have you ever seen one of those old-timey, it's not a paper towel dispenser. You'd go into the bathroom, and it had basically a infinity towel hanging down from a dispenser. You're supposed to dry your hands in and pull it up so it would go in there and dry off for the next person.
Yes. Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah.
Weird.
No,
Yeah,
thank you.
back in the old days before, pandemics and stuff. And most of these died in like the 80s because they were a product of like the 60s. But there would just be like one circular Mobius strip of towel in bathrooms or whatever, and you would roll it up or down like a shade and dry your hands on it and look for the dry spot.
Back when we didn't give a fuck about hygiene.
Right.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ!
I'm sure nobody wiped pee on this.
I'll give Dyson some credit because I think their dryers pretty ingenious, and I don't know why it took a millionaire Swiss vacuum company to like design a way to blow air on hands, but they did it.
Good for them. Good for you, Dyson. You get the FFOP seal of approval.
Yeah, every time
sponsor us.
Yeah, sponsor us. Every time
vacuum,
we go,
send me all your vacuums.
every time we go to the aquarium, they've got Dyson hand blowers in there, and sometimes I just wash my hands for the thrill of it.
Are those the ones that you like put your hands inside of, kind of?
Yeah, it's kind of like if you were going to jail in the future, you'd expect your hands to come out manacled.
Yeah, okay.
And I no longer work retail, but the very last day I did last Saturday, a lady came out from the bathroom and said, I just want you people to know that you need to put paper towel dispensers in there because you are blowing virus everywhere.
It's
because there's no paper towel dispensers in the Target. There's just air dryers. And I'm like, I don't have that power.
It's my last day, ma'am.
Well, and also all the
Ma'am,
virus
I
should have got
quit.
washed off at the sink.
Right.
Nope,
Yeah,
just
right.
everywhere. That lady put her
Just
mouth over
blowing
it and
everywhere.
coughed into it and then put her hand
Oh
in
yeah,
it. Like,
well yeah, because I'm sure if you walk in, she's got that tube facing up, and she looks like a donkey in a wind tunnel, or like an orangutan with her top lip flapping like fucking crazy. Oh, that's a Target customer for you. Only in Reno though. Here it's fine.
I don't have to
good.
deal with that anymore.
Oh, I'm sure. What was your last day like? Was it super like liberating?
Well, they'd tell me to do something and I'd be like, I'll do that for 15 minutes and then do whatever the hell I want.
So, I mean, I wasn't here the last show, so you probably said it then. So what is your new job?
I'm a substitute teacher starting
Yay!
Tuesday. I took a shift that's only 2.5 hours long
Nice.
so I can ease in teaching first graders.
Aw.
Andy is a substitution for a regular teacher.
True. No
Simulated
substitutes for
teacher.
this substitute.
I can't believe it's not teachers, Andy.
I'm like a low-fat teacher.
Wait a sec,
He's
this
the-
isn't a teacher.
Yeah, it spreads like a teacher though.
It looks like it's teaching people.
Yeah, but it won't add to my hips.
They did try to call me yesterday because I told them I was done on the 10th, so they scheduled me on the 10th.
Oh yeah.
And then my
I
phone started
remember
ringing. I
that
was like,
story.
"That's Target's number.
What are you gonna do?
You're gonna fire me?
Ignore.
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
You're fired. What a voicemail to get on your last day. Oh, disheartening. So teaching kids. So you taught some kids now? You're telling me?
No, not until Tuesday.
No.
Okay,
Tuesday.
you're Tuesday. Okay, I got confused back
He's done
there.
simulated teaching, just not the real thing.
Yeah, I've done tutoring over Zoom.
Ugh.
He's taught to pretend imaginary kids.
Yes, I did that the other day.
Ooh. So did you do like the pretend head pat and everything? And
Well, no, it was like, okay, usually, so you do a read-along. So the lady had us buy a kid's book. And it was like, okay, so you're going to record yourself doing this read-along, and I want you to ask questions like you normally would if kids were there, and then pause to wait for their imaginary responses. So I'm like, and then Ping presented his empty pot to the Emperor. Why do you think he did that, kids?
Here's what I don't like. I don't like that concept at all because when it's done on almost all the kid shows that my kid watches, and it's so fucking annoying because, like, number one, let's say it's a live show and there's a big studio audience, then by all means, get them to scream their favorite fucking color or number or whatever. But when you're one kid in a room staring up just to get some escape from your life, to get into the color
My
and
hard
music,
life.
I don't want to be told, like, hey, now it's time to carry your own weight. What's this number, bitch? And I would be like, because then you got to sit there in awkward silence as they stare dead-eyed at you.
But Andy, did you listen back to the recording and see if there was any voices responding?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
me.
God.
Andy was teaching his own ghost.
Well,
dead.
like the simulated reading to imaginary kids is one thing,
So
but
you
like
didn't read?
sitting in front of actual kids and reading, like they're not all gonna sit there politely while you read.
Oh, yes, they
They're
are.
gonna
They
like
but
be
damn well better.
one's gonna get up and be like, I have to pee, Mr. Andy.
You think they're gonna call him Mr. Andy?
They're going to call me Mr. B because my last name is too hard for children to pronounce.
Call him Dandy Andy.
Hey, Mr. B. What age are we teaching? Are you
First grade.
First
So
grade?
6.
Yeah.
This is the coolest first grader I've ever heard.
6-year-old on his skateboard does a little pop, grabs it on his shoulder of his leather jacket. He's like, "Hey, Mr. B, aces," and he sits down.
I've been held back since the 90s.
He's like, "It's
The
me,
oldest first grader ever.
yeah." He's like, Henry Winkler is in your class. I'm interested to see how this works out, Andy.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole
I
new
get
adventure.
to take whatever shift and whatever age I like. There's, like, basically, you get
For
in
now.
there and it says, this is how many substitutes we need to eat every day, which is like 200.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I scrolled down, I said, I would like to teach first graders on Tuesday. Click.
Yeah,
So-
it's basically the charcuterie of teaching jobs. You get to try a little bit of all of them.
That's interesting, but are you shooting for eventually being your own teacher, like dropping the substitute and letting people like learn your name for more than a day?
Yeah, but this one, if you substitute teach, it gets you hours towards student teaching.
Plus, you can turn in the points at the Kool-Aid Fun Store.
And then I don't have to work a retail job. I can do the thing that I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
Right. And getting the experience.
They do pay substitute teachers, David. You look confused.
No, I'm sure they do. I'm not
It's a real
confused on
job.
that angle. Well, I just it's a real job. I swear to God. No, I just got caught up and I thought of getting a teacher-themed members-only jacket for a minute.
Yep, sure.
It'd have the schoolhouse and maybe like an apple with a bite out of it. Have the worm, the smiley worm.
Oh, you should play Schoolhouse Rock for the kids.
Yep, that's exactly what from what I understand, as a substitute teacher, you walk in and there's instructions already there for you. It's like, hey, please teach this.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
wheel in the
Yeah.
TV on that really tall, like, TV stand.
Yeah,
But yeah, and
it
that,
still has a VCR.
Get an overhead projector.
let me bring this to your attention, though. I mean, we all went through school. We know how we treated substitutes. Does that not scare you
respect?
even a little?
I never, like, gave them a hard time.
Yeah, I
or
was
anything.
never mean to a substitute. Me either.
No, I mean, not necessarily us personally, but substitutes in general, I feel, in
But
my
I also
experience
feel like
growing up.
I never
got-
had any man substitutes when I was a kid.
You're saying you
maybe-
would treat man substitutes better.
I feel like you get a gigantic man in there, they're not going to treat you like a little old lady.
That's, again, Andy, why are you doubling down on the sexism? This is a woke culture. How dare you?
But no,
Hashtag Granny Pride?
I don't think it was ever, like... I don't remember, like, a super negative experience with any substitutes.
No, I'm just saying, like, they're...
You just assume it's going to be an easy day.
Yeah,
because
that's the thing. Like,
teacher's
no
not
one's
there.
going to bother to care.
There's a little less respect, but I also feel like the substitutes don't care as much either.
Exactly. All the years I grew up, there were very few recurring substitutes, but in junior high, there were a few that floated around for us. And one guy named Sarge. And I don't know if... Yeah, I don't know his real name, but he went by Sarge. He basically was the guy who would come in, bullshit with you for an hour while throwing Jolly Ranchers, and you hoped every goddamn day your teacher got hit by a train, so Sarge would show up and throw Jolly Ranchers at you for an hour.
Last quarter of the lecture was all the 1,000-yard stare as he flashbacked.
Yeah, yeah, that was the thing. Everybody asked him. Everybody would constantly. He was always asked, "Did you kill anybody? Did you kill anybody?" Because I think he went through Vietnam.
Oh, jeez.
Or maybe even Korea. And he's like, "I can't talk about it. I can't talk." He was always a very like, ho, jovial guy with the fucking... He was
That
like,
was
if you
Santa.
took... Well, yeah, no. He
Santa
was a
did
very
go into
thin...
Vietnam.
He was a thin guy. He was like the cartoon version of like Arlie Ermy. So he looked the part, but he was very like animated and like dee. But if anyone asked like, "Hey, you ever kill anybody, Sarge, with your bare hands?" He would get the 1,000-yard stare and be like, "I can't talk about it." And then he would bring himself back to reality and be like, "Dude, Jolly Ranchers."
So he hides the pain.
I had another
something.
choice of going to the high school that's right next to me on Tuesday and teaching PE for the whole day.
Uh-oh.
I did not take that, but immediately I was
can
like,
see
that's got
why.
to be the easiest fucking job in the world.
Yeah,
Hey,
make them
kids,
all
start
run.
running and don't stop for an hour.
Yeah.
Jeez, you're going to kill those kids.
Do laps.
I don't know. If every time we had a PE sub, it was always weird because all that we really had to do in PE growing up, that's all we did do was run. Like, you nailed it, Andy. Like, if you can go and get a whistle at Big Five, you're a PE coach.
Just bring a recorder.
That would be worse. Like
We did random stuff.
Chasing the
too.
kids around the schoolyard with playing tunes, like
Or
some sort of
no,
reverse Pied Piper.
Run,
I
children.
thought it would just. No, I was picturing Andy just with a clipboard and like just a tape recorder with just a single note whistle. Like it would go click and it'd go beep.
No, I want the recorder thing now. Bring some like medieval peasant style clothes and just chase them around in the curly toed shoes.
Oh my
I
god.
think I'd be fired.
We didn't just run in PE. We did like swing lessons.
Swing
at one
lessons?
point.
Yeah, I mean every
It
once
was
in a while
weird.
you'd have like a dance class or a rope day.
I don't remember any of those.
I didn't do rope day.
We had
I
rope
declined
days were
that.
like pots of gold. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Most of the time you're just busting your hump out there in the Arizona heat, but every once in a while they'd pull out the ropes in the gym because the gym was also the cafeteria, and that was
weird.
your oh my god, that is the golden ticket, Charlie Bucket.
See, I never
That's
had
rope
gym.
burn.
I
What
remember
ever?
In middle school. I was in drama, which took the place of gym, and I was in ROTC in high school, which took
See,
the
I
place
remember
of gym.
gym in middle school, but in high school I was in marching band, which took the place of it.
Yeah.
That's why we got such a fat country.
Hey,
Everybody's,
marching
marching
band,
band?
you gotta march, man.
everybody's marching
And
around or
carry instruments
dramatizing
around.
things.
I had to carry a keyboard on a harness during marching band practice.
Yeah, right.
More often than not, I had to run a mile because my coach was nursing a hangover.
I passed out when I ran the mile. I never ended up running the full mile because I passed out.
Blech.
Like
Ours-
my ass blacked out and ate pavement.
That's the
We
dream.
had ours was such a you know, most places would just be like, here's a big ass track, now run around it a whole bunch.
Now get away from me.
Now get away from me. My junior high, so the mile was once around the track, and then you'd break off and go down an empty field. You'd run the length of the school and turn left at the road. Then you'd go into the alley where
What?
it runs up against the canal and make another left, and you'd run
Leaping
along
over
between
trash cans and homeless people.
Yeah, you'd like jump over the trash cans and mind the broken bottles and the crack pipes and shit, and then you'd run behind the baseball diamond. And it was basically like, you know, parkour for the homeless.
We just had to run a track 4 times.
Yeah, the track is 4 times.
Yeah.
Our track was so small it would be 16 times, and it was so short that because it would be 3 PE teachers with 3 classes full of kids. Like it would be literally nut to butt the whole fucking run, and there would be insertion. It's junior high.
Gross.
It's junior high.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
could teach whatever I want, and it's not going to be math or science or.
What?
So what do you? So in the long
Crocheting?
run, what do you want to teach? Like,
5th or 6th grade?
Yeah, so
The
you don't have to
School of
like
Life?
specialize.
oh, you don't, oh, when I was in 5th or 6th grade, we had a math teacher, an English teacher. I mean,
See, it's
math-
different from state to state.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
talking about moving 6th grade to middle school here.
Well, I feel like my 6th grade, I don't think 5th grade, but I think we did have some separate teachers in 6th
I
grade.
had 3 different teachers in 6th grade.
But I think they were just
Yeah.
like trying it out. It was different from school to school. And I have no
I
idea what it'd be like
wouldn't-
these days.
I wouldn't have minded it starting earlier because by the time 7th grade rolled around, that's when like the
rough.
separate classes
Yeah.
started for me. And you go like literally from the same room all day to like, hey, now you got 6 separate rooms and you have like this much time to get there, and you have a locker,
And you got to play
And-
grab ass.
I never used
and
that
you got to play
locker.
grab
Gotta
ass,
pass notes.
and you're gonna be passing notes, and you're gonna be trying to get kissed in the really dark part of the covered locker. Sometimes you got to stop,
You know,
or
the part where
sometimes
they
you
took
got
out the
to.
light
Stairs.
bulbs so they could kiss.
Yeah, you know, you go to there's always a dark spot. I mean, come on, guys, we've all been through junior high.
all the goth kids used to hang out under the stairs.
Yeah.
I
you gotta-
kissed a lot in junior high.
I did not.
You gotta throw 45 seconds into calling 1-800-WET-BUTT on the payphone.
The wettest butts.
They did have the wet. You could hear them. I was like, whoa,
They were
that sounds like a
positively
wet
dripping.
butt.
Don't dial 1-800-DRIBBLY butt.
Go see a doctor.
Say hello to Dribble Butt.
We only
my
have the
God.
most incontinent women.
No! They were
Took it
wet
too far.
from... Yeah, they needed to be wet from a guy standing just off camera with a like a spray jug of mineral
A
water.
mister.
Yeah.
A Super Soaker 9000.
Yeah.
You hear him pumping it up.
What makes the fantasy is the underpaid dude, like the key grip just off camera, being like, like 6 inches away from somebody's ass, being like, "Yep, I grew up to mist asses."
Garden hose and a nozzle.
Yeah, he's like a gardener. He has like overalls. There's a little daisy on the front pocket. Gotta wet these asses.
Oh.
I wouldn't.
Anytime
So
I
many
get
wet
too
butts.
horny, Jeffrey behind me sprays me down like a naughty cat. Every time I get too horny, Steven here splashes his cereal milk on me. Every time I get too horny, I just dip my butt in this cold bucket of ice water.
Gross.
Goodness.
The Ass LS Challenge. I nominate your asshole.
Yeah, fighting incontinence.
I got nice cold enema here, and we're going to take the LS Challenge.
Oh man. So Andy, I hear you have something for us.
a little
I
something.
do. We still don't have any theme songs for this, huh?
That's okay.
No,
That's why we have
I'm,
you.
I'm still like reaching out. We need to. Is this going to like exclusively be Reddit, or we need to like a concrete name for this bit? Is the problem?
We might need a title that's a little bit more generalized, just in case we want to branch out.
Yeah, we
true.
need like the general store of titles.
We got a Discord. Let's shop it out.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
My vote. Here's my vote. Anal and sundry.
Okay.
So what do you got, Andy?
Our post today is, am I the asshole because I ate more than my share of a 6-foot party sub last night?
Okay, this is really going to hinge on how many people showed up to the party.
Did you tell me about this one beforehand, or did we do this on the show already?
I think I've told you about this one before.
Okay, just checking.
I have not heard it, so
Okay, it's just me then.
What I thought would be a total non-issue has ballooned into a huge problem, and I'm up at 7:05 a.m. dealing with it.
Ugh.
I figured while I wait for a text, I could post here to see if what I did was really that bad.
why now? Why are you up so early? Number one, deliberating the sandwich debacle. I want context from that.
Give me a second.
AC came on.
The AC is on.
More like Optimus crap.
It is what we named the AC.
That's a loud
Autobots
AC.
blowout.
Yeah, are you
Seriously.
guys inside of the return? Holy fuck. You guys set up shop in the fucking HVAC handler?
Yes.
Yeah,
Anyway.
we're all very streamlined
Pretty
here.
cool. It's pretty cool in there.
So, I'm a big fat ass. There's no way
Argument here.
around it.
I already like this person, man, woman, or child. I haven't. Who is it? What type of person is it? Doesn't matter. I already like them because they admit that they're fat and they're not going to, lie to us with their mouth while telling the truth with our eyes.
David likes a jovial Louis Anderson.
Unapologetic.
I just like someone who's realistic and unapologetic.
I love to eat, which probably borders on addiction, but I figure since I'm only hurting myself, it's probably better to just live my life.
I honestly have no. That's a bulletproof argument.
Yeah, but if he's addicted to food and he goes to a party with food provided and he knows he's addicted, he should probably bring some of his own food.
Oh God,
Right.
it's happening.
That's the person you don't like invite to your sub party. Just like you have that one friend who you don't invite around your Coke. I'm sure.
I like how it's David. David assumes it's a sub sandwich party just for sub sandwiches.
Celebrating sub
Yeah.
sandwiches.
I thought it was in honor of making a 6-foot sub.
We did it!
Biggest hoagie.
Yay!
Listen, when you have a 6-foot sub, that's reason enough to celebrate.
It's true.
An argument
Unless
here.
you're keto.
I have some great friends, although there is no doubt that I'm the harmless, funny, token fat guy of the otherwise pretty good-looking group. I guess that sets the stage enough.
I guess.
I don't like the word harmless. It makes like don't get me wrong, I've never been described as harmless.
Oh, it's super dangerous.
But I don't like when people are described as harmless because it means number one, you're describing someone who is harmful, but you're having to calm somebody else down because you're like, oh, so this guy blew his stack, but he's harmless.
Yeah,
that means
I'm-
he's gonna go on a shooting
Thinking about
spree.
it, like, I don't think I've ever described anything as harmless unless there was, like, the probability of harm from that thing.
Yeah, like when you're trying to convince if you get a new dog and it starts going apeshit when your friends come over, you tell them, oh, he's harmless.
Yeah.
We hope he's harmless.
We hope. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but also using that against a human, like say, oh, he's harmless. Like, that's also, like, what is he, a toddler in a human, like, adult body? Oh, he's harmless. He's just trying to make toast. He's harmless. This guy. So cute.
He might eat you. Last night, my friend hosted UFC, and I was invited.
Oh, boy.
Oh, happy day, UFC.
I get to watch the old hug and punch.
Not gay. Not gay, guys.
He got a 6-foot party sub. I also brought homemade wings, which are sort of my specialty.
But how many?
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Just 2.
Just 2 wings. Chickens only had 2 wings.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. He probably he left the house with 4 and made it there with 2. He doesn't.
Well, of course, people flocked to the food, and I basically had 1 serving of the sandwich, but people devoured my wings, and I didn't get to have a single one.
Oh, the wings that I could make at home at any time.
So is this wing retaliation? Like
So I ate half of the 6-foot sub.
He's like, there will be a sandwich reckoning.
That's totally fine. That's why I brought them, but maybe an hour later I was starving.
Listen, you're fat. You're not starving. Quit. I want no fat person to say I'm starving. Say you're hungry. I get it.
Yeah.
Your brain thinks you're hungry. Don't tell me you're starving. There
Also,
are people who are starving.
You can drink water, and that could fill you up, Mr. Person.
Or you could eat
That
less
could
and
work,
shut the
maybe?
fuck up more. Just my personal opinion.
I kept eyeing the sandwich, and I'd say there was about 3 feet of it left.
So I ruined 6 inches of it right away.
I waited an hour, and then another half hour, and no one had touched it.
Here, why not say I waited an hour and a half?
I don't know.
Because it makes it sound longer.
So I
when he
waited 15 minutes,
2.5 hours.
a further 30, top that off with another 15.
I waited an hour, then I wasn't waiting for a few minutes, and then I started waiting again.
Yeah, I stopped waiting for 15 minutes, then I waited again for 30 whole minutes.
But the thing is, like, this guy is now just there. He's like, he's keeping time.
Yeah, he's like pacing in front of this sandwich,
Yeah,
staring at the clock.
Drooling.
This guy is beyond help.
They were still munching on chips, pretzels, and whatnot, so I was like, screw it. I took about half of what was left and ate it.
Woo.
Wait, so what, 2 feet?
It was 3
Foot and a
feet.
half?
He said about 3
Okay.
feet, so 1.5 feet.
Foot and a fucking half?
That's a pretty
18
damn big
inches.
sandwich.
Yeah.
And we haven't
Like-
really established whether he's ate any of the sandwich previously.
He said he had what he
Right.
considered
He
a
said-
regular portion.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But here's the thing. So he had a regular portion, and now out of context, let's say this isn't a party. Let's say it isn't a 6-foot sub. Let's say you're just a fat ass walking into Subway, getting a foot long and a 6-inch just for yourself. Does that make you feel weird, jackass?
Well, and like they're usually pre-sliced. So did he take like 10
Like
pre-cut
10 sections, like
pieces?
And, like, I guarantee they're using standard or maybe even those party-sized paper plates. So is this asshole like a waiter at a
them.
specialty restaurant? Like he's got plates up and down his arm of like 4 inches a sandwich at a time?
And
Fuck
he
you.
shuffles them all together like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, and then just like a real Dagwood, this guy.
Then the last half sat for like another 10 minutes, and no one
Wait.
said anything, so I ate the rest.
So this guy ate a portion of sandwich, undetermined, and then ate 3 more feet.
Then he ate half of the entire sandwich.
This guy is the asshole, Andy.
Yes, I know.
I don't. Whatever you say next, he could be like, "Well, then I fell down the stairs, and you know what was there? The cure for AIDS, and I gave it away for
Then
free."
I saved a child.
Yeah, that I almost ate a child. Yes,
I almost ate a child, but I didn't.
So that's
in
like
that last
saving it.
foot. Yeah, somebody had abandoned a child in that last foot of that sub, and I saved it. I saved it.
Could have sat there for another, 10 minutes without being saved.
All this kid knew was mayonnaise and mustard. He knew no mom or dad.
And all the shakers.
And all the shakers. All the shakers.
The shakers haunt me in my dreams. Oil vinegar. Well, to be sure, as I was swallowing the last bite, the host's girlfriend asked where the sandwich was.
Swallowing the last, 6 inches like a seagull.
That's the thing. Unless this dude is like a conehead or he's eating it like a duck. Like, that's 3 feet. That is half of a length of bubble tape, my friends. That is a
God, he's
feat
right.
to behold. Yeah, I know.
That's
I'm
as
right.
long as one fruit by the foot.
Oh my god.
Whatever. What we all have friends like that. I feel there's always people who bring stuff to a party that's like really good that goes like super fast.
Yeah.
But it's everybody has 6 fucking. So
Like, I'm gonna guess he ate 4 foot of sandwich
at least, right?
out of 6.
Yeah, because they were all, all the friends were taking, because they were cut up into like 3-inch chunks.
Well,
That's what they do on every party sub.
I feel like they're 3 to, it must be 3, I guess. I wanted to say 6, but that feels too long now.
They're like 3-inch chunks, so that everybody probably grabbed one 3-inch chunk, got invested in the party, and fucked off. And then an hour and a half later, when they've been all boozed up on wine and the munchies are hitting, this asshole has fucking taken 6 foot of sub to the head.
I scrolled down a little bit. It's even worse.
And he drank all the mayonnaise.
Because he didn't say it was a... He says it's a 6-foot party sub, but then he goes on to elaborate more.
They ordered 4 more, and he ate those too.
Like I was the guilty party, everybody pretty much pointed at me. I guess they noticed me eating the sandwich.
I guess.
All the mustard stains on my shirt.
Not only try eating 3 foot of a hose.
Ugh.
Like try eating 3 feet of something small inconspicuously. This is a fucking sandwich, my dude, and you're at a party. Fucking. Unless he was eating in the bathroom.
She was furious and said I was an incredible pig and that I had been super selfish to eat 3 feet of a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yes. The end.
I felt so bad, and I tried to explain to her that I really did wait over an hour and thought people had lost interest.
Listen, I waited an hour, then I stopped waiting, then I waited 30 more minutes.
Look at my incredible self-control.
I mean, like...
I timed the amount of time I had to wait for a sandwich.
Every 30 minutes I wait, I eat a foot of fucking sandwich.
That's true.
That's how I roll.
I also tried to explain how everyone had ate my wings, and she said something along the lines of, "You brought them to share, Alan. If someone had eaten over half by themselves, that's not fucking sharing, is it?"
Alan.
Yeah, like, I can't believe this guy is giving us probably the unvarnished words of his friend.
Yeah.
Like, because seriously, what the fuck?
I offered to order pizza or even go get Subway, since she said it was a pathetic offer because the party sub had been from a local shop owned by her friends.
Right, that's every time there's a party sub, I don't care if it is made from Subway. It's wide. There's some ceremony. Some asshole shows up broke dick late with like 6 inches, all to be like, yeah, let's cut these in half and arrange them. Like, fuck you, you motherfucker.
A 6-foot sub is the centerpiece of the whole like spread.
Yeah, you have to buy a 6-foot table for.
Yeah.
It would be as if you came to Thanksgiving, ate both wings, drumsticks, and half the breast.
I bet he could.
And then broke the wishbone. Fucker.
I wish I had more turkey.
Well, you didn't eat the mashed potatoes I brought.
They're my specialty.
I put butter in them.
I put goat cheese in mine.
That's good. He does make some good ones.
Sure he does.
I said I was sorry, but the night was so tense from then on out.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning to several texts from my twin sisters, the host's girlfriend's best friends, saying that I had to get my shit under control and that everyone is really mad at me and that I embarrassed myself last night.
Yes.
This is true.
I'm embarrassed for him.
I tried to explain to them what my mindset had been, and they haven't responded. Am I the asshole for eating that much of the sandwich last night?
But here, so his mindset, like the whole defense was, I waited an hour and a half. That's his mindset.
Yeah, I believe so.
Not like I had recently transformed into the Hulk and then reverted, burning many calories. not, you see, I pulled a boy from a well and I had not eaten in 16 hours because I had been digging for so long. Not any of that. He came to the party and brought wings and then was cordial enough to wait an hour and a half before consuming 36 inches of meat and cheese.
It gets
what a
worse,
gentleman.
David.
It gets worse? How does it get worse?
He says, here's an edit. To answer what seems to be the most common misconception, this wasn't a Subway party sub, so definitely not 4 times the size of a regular sub. This is a local place, so it's about 1.5 times the width of a regular sub. It's still a ton of food, don't get me wrong, but I can down 5 Subway footlongs in an afternoon easily, and this is probably about the equivalent to that.
Oh my
That
God.
is too many sandwiches.
And here's what I guarantee. No goddamn person in his life has the balls to be like, guess what, Josh? You're fat.
That's because he'll eat them. I waited an hour and a half watching you.
I've waited my whole life
Listen.
to eat you.
I don't mind if you're fat. It just worries me is the problem. Because if you have a heart attack, that's going to ruin my fucking day. You got me?
That is
you
also a good point.
You stroke out because you want to treat yourself like shit and eat garbage. That ruins my fucking day, assholes.
Right, and that, like, at the beginning of this, he, like, admitted, like, oh, I'm only hurting myself, so why not? Well, no, you're not. You're hurting everybody else around you, too.
Here's the thing. It's like a crash on the freeway. Sure, there may be only 2 people injured, maybe somebody died, however bad that situation is, you can say, well, at least it was just this tiny situation. But then you look back to the 17 miles of fucking cars, the millions of gallons of fossil fuel, the amount of time and energy lost, and you say, am I really just hurting myself?
Also, so he I went to see if he had any other posts, but his account has been suspended for yelling at people.
Perfect.
Oh, good. He's an entitled fatty.
He's an asshole kind of all the way around.
You can tell he's entitled because he's like, look, I waited. And I didn't get any of my special wings. Look, dipshit, if you wanted your special wings, grab 2, put them on your plate with a section of sandwich.
Yeah.
If you're a fat guy and you know you're a fat guy, make a fuck ton of fucking wings.
If that's your special treat.
Yeah. Like, I know fat people, who, when they go places and have to bring food, they bring a fuck ton of it. Guess why? Because they either want to eat it all there or bring it home for themselves later. They don't bring a little fucking, like, McDonald's side of barbecue sauce and they say, oh, knock yourself out. Those are the people are self-controlled. If anyone ever brings a dip, they're the skinny people.
I do like a ranch dip for my wings.
Oh, me too.
There's 2 types of people, everybody. There's 2 types of people. There's people who like ranch, and there's people who like not ranch. And I am the guy who does not like ranch.
Do you want blue cheese
don't like
then,
blue
David?
cheese
I'll make
either.
blue cheese.
I don't like either of those.
You just haven't found the right ranch yet.
I don't like the creaminess of it all. I feel like it's too thick. I like a nice Italian, a nice vinaigrette. I like the savor.
Don't go with wings.
I know, but I can still. They do if you dunk them.
Yeah, dip my wings into a nice Russian dressing.
Yeah.
Not Russian. No, I said Italian.
I can do it French.
A nice Italian, a nice oil based.
No, you don't put oil on wings.
Oh, yeah,
I can see that being good though.
You fry them in oil.
What if
you
it was,
dip them in ranch.
What if it was like fried wings?
All of them
Aren't all
like,
wings fried?
What do you mean, like
wings.
fried, like breaded?
I bake wings.
Yeah, I mean you could have both.
Whatever. Moral of the
Okay, David,
story
boneless
is,
or bone-in?
I always go boneless.
I like boneless as well. It's like adult chicken nuggets.
That's the thing. I'm not that I'm like, oh yeah, it's like eating chicken nuggets. I'm just lazy as fuck. Like I don't want to have to eat around a hard.
I like bone in, but only the wing. I don't like the leg one.
The leg are the better ones.
I'm so fucking lazy. I don't want to deal with the tendons. I don't want to deal with the cartilage. I don't want to deal with the bone. I want to pop something in my mouth and be like, yeah, I got.
Yeah,
that's it.
I feel like the meat on bone in is better. Like there are a lot of like useless bits that you can't eat. But
you do lose flavor because it's just chicken breast.
Yeah.
However, convenience. I'm fucking lazy, dudes.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
Yeah, it's a tough life.
That's life, folks.
We have landed on big asshole, big.
Yes.
Can you imagine his poops?
No, I don't want to.
I can't imagine being that dude's doctor and every year, however, getting his physical. And like, again, Joshua, again.
He's gonna have a 6-foot-long poop.
Do you think he goes to the doctor? People like that generally end up going, like, I don't want to go because they'll tell me something's wrong.
Yeah, right. I love that thinking. I don't want to go to the doctor. They'll tell me I'm dying.
Yeah, but the great thing about that thinking is eventually they'll be right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm dead now.
I'm gonna go see my mortician.
I don't get why he needed to ask Reddit if he was an asshole.
Because these people are so like.
He sounds delusioned and addicted.
Well, it's a sociopathic tendency.
But he also admitted that.
But there's an X factor here. People can be surrounded by gaslighters. I understand the need to reach out to a third party.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Not anonymous, but a.
Well, it is anonymous, basically.
Anonymous, but like unattached. Like they have no dog in your hunt.
A neutral.
It
sounds like he probably was surrounded by people that were accepting enough of it that it wasn't really an issue for them until this particular moment.
Right. That's the but what I'm saying is, like, if you're not surrounded by people, I would go to the internet for a second opinion because it's a place for like assholes to blast you in the face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
like a friend of a friend, I would ask like a hypothetical.
I'm imagining right now that I went and got like a special sub sandwich from a nice like Jewish deli, 6 foot long. We're about to have it, and somebody comes in and eats the whole fucking thing, and I'm like, "Where's my sandwich?" Like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Can I get you a Subway?" Like, I hate you.
How in the hell, like? The human body has only so much room within it.
Your stomach is only the size of your fist.
These people who have abused themselves to such a degree where these are body horrors. Like if we transport these people back to like the 1800s, they would be in a freak show. They would be like, look at this incredibly fat man who could eat 6 feet of a fucking sandwich in a sitting.
Oh, David,
they'd charge you tuppence.
I haven't even gotten into the gross part of Reddit. There was a great thread one time where it was like, hey guys, doctors of Reddit, what's the worst thing you've ever seen? And it was like, we had this big fat lady come in. And she had big sores all along the bottom of her belly, and we poked one, and it just started leaking everywhere, and it's like filling up our shoes, and the smell was awful.
I've heard that story, yeah. You could also do stuff like tabletop horror stories or something.
Oh, some of those are like people playing D&D, and like their dungeon master's like, and now I'm gonna rape you.
Well, I think it's bizarre that not only that these people are willing to share their hideous and mostly embarrassing experiences, but that people would let themselves get to that state.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, and I'm sure everybody has said this, I'm sure the woman who they had to drain the abscesses of, as at my age, was probably like, I hope I never have to be wheeled out of my house on like a furniture dolly and get surgery on my huge abscesses. But was there no one around that woman being like, oh my God, something's happening? No one wanted to push that boulder off the track that it was going.
Haven't you ever watched one of them hoarder shows? The ones where it's like, I'm a 500-pound woman.
Well, yeah,
it's
my
a perfect
600-pound life.
Yeah, it's a perfect
ridiculous.
storm of enablers. Like, if you can get everyone around you to look past the fact that you're an obnoxious piece of shit and all you eat is chicken nuggets, you're not going to say no to that. We've got shows based on it.
But it's like, I think it was in My 600-Pound Life where they were like, the doctor was like, why aren't you losing any weight? And all the family was like, well, we've been sneaking our cheeseburgers in the hospital.
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing?
Dr. No on that show, my mom and I sometimes watch it. He is like an amazing doctor, and he like is straight up like, okay, if you can't lose X amount of weight, we're not doing this shit because you can't commit to this. And just watching these people either fail, die, or finally like, oh, okay.
It's one thing to have the family members that just look the other way and they made themselves fat on their own, and nobody lifted their hand up to be like, hey man, something is wrong with you. Emotionally, let's look into it, or whatever the problem may be. But then there are the people who actively, like, you see the state that this human being is in. Mm-hmm. They're no longer human. They are a pustule.
Yeah.
And you are still continuing to supply them with the substances that got them there.
Well, like there was one that I watched. It was a dude. He was like 20-something years old, lived with his mom, but he was 650 pounds or whatever. And his mom was, she wasn't skinny, but she wasn't as big as him. But she would go and get 2 dozen donuts and bring them back for him, knowing full well that. I shouldn't be doing this. And when she says no, he has a fit.
Do people like that? Like, what is he going to do? Like, she leaves the house and he's stuck in his bed. Here. This is why I'm constantly getting up people's ass about shit. Yeah, totally. Yeah. But this is why I'm constantly up people's asses about shit. Because if I have to sit idly by and watch you balloon up to 600 pounds or whatever your fucking problem is down the road that you can't see, but I see clear as fucking day, I'm not doing it to get up your ass for no reason, you see. I'm trying to keep your ass off of the TLC network. So I'm like, guys, take care of yourselves, or this might be a good idea. I'm not saying it because it's like, hey, I'm your dad. I don't want to have to be a camera in my face being like, well, he's like in our 20s, he seemed normal, and then he turned into the vampire from Blade. Like, I told him not to, but he didn't. He did it anyway.
We have to keep Wesley Snipes away from him.
Yeah, like, I knew the warning sign was when he backed up that cement mixer full of Wendy's Frosty.
It's a lot of Frosty.
Hey, it's a party.
Delicious.
Party Frosty.
There's probably money. I think if we ever get back to the place where like our super rich can be super decadent again and not be hassled by all these poor people.
Those are the days.
I think what I'll do is I'll start doing niche businesses like that, like delivering a whole cement mixer full of milkshakes somewhere, and like, or like, I think what I would do is like deliver a whole trailer full of already cooked but loose hot dogs. I think I would show up to parties and hand out my card, and the card's made of bacon. I think I would, like, these rich people, to get their money, what I would do is I would show up in like a donut truck, but have the tires made out of actual donuts. Because
then they'll figure it out and they'll eat them.
Well, the point is, rich people will pay for anything, and if you can give them something, like if they can elbow their friend in the rib through their cashmere cardigan and be like, "Hey, guess what? Little Aiden, he had a whole fucking cement mixer full of Wendy's Frosty, or whatever rich people drink.
Everything on this truck can be eaten."
Well, according to Donald Trump, that is what rich people eat. That's fancy food.
That's true.
Frosties?
Listen,
hamburgers.
If you give a homeless person $1 billion, he would turn into Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I can see it.
Donald Trump is a homeless man's version of what rich is,
Gold
or even
everywhere.
better yet, more relatable. He's Chester J. Lampwick III. Like, he's got a solid gold house and a rocket car. He don't give a fuck.
Gold is really classy. Or make everything super white so I can smear my orangeness on them.
I don't get how. I get now. So now that mullets are slowly dying, thank God. I haven't seen one in quite a while, and I hope that this isn't jinxing it. But I feel like gold shit in your house or on your body is seen as gaudy by more than not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still, it persists to this day. Like an asshole idiot will get money, and they will bling up their house, their face, their car with gold. And whereas I'm sure a year before they hit it big, we're like, that looks tacky. Whereas then you shove a pork roll-sized fist of, a roll of $100 bills up their ass, then they're farting gold all over their fucking mansions.
Oh, yeah, your whole mindset changes when you have a ton of money.
I will still, like, when I'm rich, trust me, when I get there, gold will still be tacky.
Yeah.
Platinum.
When I'm rich, I want a house with a conservatory.
Yeah, I will conserve gold nuggets.
Yes.
All I want is a house with a wet bar. I want a place where, like, after a long day, maybe there's like one, like a single iron cage with one of those Edison bulbs hanging over it and it's all smoky. I just want a place where I can go, like, pour a drink and just be like, ugh.
David, why not get one of those Goodfellas nice tacky stone walls that slides open and it has your bar stuff and a TV that's 26 inches?
I would love to ponder the dreams of avarice. However, I am on a budget. And a dry bar is probably more up my alley.
Well, wet bars aren't that expensive.
Or maybe a wet bar. I'll get a hose. I don't know. Whatever.
It's got a mud sink.
Moral of the story is, if I have to,
1-800
like,
wet bar.
yeah, 1-800 wet bar. If I have to, like, lift a head and push a button or twist a piece of, relic on my bookshelf, it's too much. It's too much money.
We can dream.
No, David, what you do is you have a since you're rich now, of course, you have a fossilized dinosaur skull. And you take a tooth from your selection and slot it in there, and then the wall slides open once again to reveal your wet bar.
I would. I've been thinking, since we all have a lot of time to think recently. I've been thinking about all the crazy shit I would do if I were stupid rich, and I think I just added another one. Like, I would put a full, maybe, obviously I can't put full scale, but like whatever scale will fit on like a wall of my house, like that articulated Camarasaur cast where it's like the classic one you've seen, and just have it like a fucking, like the size of a rock climbing wall.
You know, the one that sounds like Colossus from the X-Men?
Yeah, he goes, whoa! It looks like it too. His mouth is open. He's just like, he's got his mouth in the air and he's screaming.
I want a life-size cave bear skeleton in my home.
That would be cool too. I wouldn't mind a like if I ever get like one of those rich bitch foyers, having on either side and having their claws meet in the middle over the top, like two giant sloth skeletons.
Nice.
So just get two of them and mount them on your ceiling, so it's like the Michelangelo's The Birth of Adam.
Well, I would already have the two of them. It would just be on the floor.
No, but on the ceiling, it's more classy, right?
No,
so
you
stuff on
wanna
the ceiling
pass
is classy. You got to pay to have stuff on the ceiling. I can throw something on the floor right now.
Everybody puts stuff on the floor.
I might even have like 4 or 6 of them, so it'll be like walking through like into a boneyard, like an elephant graveyard. And maybe I'll have some spider webs.
Elliot, afraid to leave the house.
And the pumpkin, yeah.
Your fine leather-bound
Just won't go
chair
in
is
that
going to
part
be
of the
in like a
house.
mammoth skull.
Yeah, could you imagine, like, at the end of this long foyer with 6 full-blown giant sloth skeletons all doing the, like, yo, holding up the ceiling. There's me at the end in an upside-down mammoth, like, with the huge-ass tusks, and I'm drinking out of the skull of my enemies.
Oh, God.
No other decorations, though.
Like
I blew all
Craven the
money on
Hunter
them.
when turned into an archaeologist.
David, the police
Yeah.
are at the door.
I care not for the police. I'm gonna slosh my shit around.
It's like, well, then break out a gold bar for each of them.
They have a warrant.
I'll tell you what isn't warranted. This interruption in my day. Also, then I would say,
Very good,
Jeeves.
sir.
Also, yeah, then Jeeves would also he would have to laugh because he has to laugh at everything I pay him. And then he would walk over to the hi-fi and hit play on Warrant, Cherry Pie. And then they'd probably escort me out the door.
Probably.
She's my cherry pie, and I'll have rocker hair, and my robe will come off, and like half of my body, like your shoulder, will be hanging out, and I'll be all drunk and shit.
Jeeves, hit the fan.
Yeah, she's my cherry, and they're walking me out.
The smoke machine.
Guys, a beautiful dream. This can be yours if you join our Patreon.
Yeah, enough people. David's gonna keep all the money for himself.
Listen, not for nothing, but I've already linked it to an account in the Caymans.
Yeah, he's going to be embezzling, but he told us up front, so it doesn't really seem underhanded.
Yeah. So now, like when like an Enron level scandal hits 4 years from now, and like $6 million was funneled into, you guys can be like, yeah,
He told us.
Yeah,
We knew this was
It was up
happening.
front.
we saw the private jet when he bought it. But I'll give you rides, guys. I'll give you rides.
He was
Plus,
buying
hey,
silverware
every
made
once
of
in a while,
ivory.
yeah. Plus, every once in a while, I'll have a. Here's what I want to like. I would love to
sandwich.
do this. Yeah, like when I'm rich, I'll just like randomly send 6-foot sandwiches places.
It seems more like a petty thing than a generous thing.
Oh
Why
yeah, no,
has
it
God
would be.
cursed us with these 6-foot sandwiches?
No, yeah, it would be petty. It would be a pain in the ass. But I would order it and be like, I'd be rich, obviously. So I'd say, hey, Jimmy John's or whoever, can you make sure the sandwich is there at like 7:05?
What's
so,
a
like,
fancy, expensive sandwich place? Oh, yeah, Jimmy John's.
I don't eat sandwiches. What's an expensive sandwich place?
What do common people eat these days?
We'll go to Brioche Knoll, and I'll get 19 feet of fucking crostini, you fucking rich fuck. This is a prank. I'm not treating them to a meal. I'm pranking them. This is a prank. Maybe I'll do one crostini.
Just one small Christini.
But yeah, imagine like being that guy, like opening your door, turning around, slipping the key into the lock, and be like, "Oh, busy day." You turn around, there's like 3 dudes holding 8 feet of sandwich, and I'm like, "Where do you want it?" And you're like, "Oh, this is how the day's gonna start." All right, come in.
I don't know if I'd be annoyed or stoked. Probably annoyed and then stoked later.
Right.
I'd say, "Oh, the bedroom's back here." That's
Party's
what
in
Andy
the back.
says. Party's in the back. Business is on front.
Much like David's hair.
Guys, mine's. I don't know. If this is a party, it's a bad one.
It's just a get together.
This is the party where that guy ate the 3 feet of the sandwich.
Oh.
That's my haircut right now. Guys, like I mentioned it before, we have a Patreon, but that's all I'm going to say. Let's start wrapping it up. And, staff recommendations is how we do it. It's getting a little rough as the days go on. But do you guys have anything you want to recommend to our listeners?
I don't know. They updated Minecraft again.
Again, what do they give us this
We've
time?
been playing Minecraft.
Nether biomes.
It wasn't the appeal of that game to me was all the simplicity of it. Like the fact that it was just several elements and the constricting nature of it made it fun.
I understand that. I also have some of those viewpoints. I'm excited about the new stuff, but they're already talking about the next big update, which is going to include like cave biomes just in the regular world. Like, I think that the Nether needed some fleshing out, but like they're going to add like steam power and copper and shit from what I've been hearing.
And that's like when you take away the thing that was Minecraft, and the thing that was Minecraft was that vacuum, that void of whatever intricate features, then it's no longer Minecraft. Like, what are we doing here?
Building an automatic wool machine.
And in service of what? Like,
Yeah, Andy's
and
firing
that's-
shears out of a gun at sheep just to
Yeah.
get their wool.
And here's what's gonna happen. In like 10 years, you're gonna have the people who are like, in my day, I had to smelt every brick by hand, and now you got your automated Minecraft brick smelters and your sheep shearers.
True.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for the old people of the future. Holy fuck, are they gonna be?
It's gonna be
annoying.
weird.
It's gonna be us.
You guys remember Thundercats?
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do my best not to be like, I had to do all that. I like technology. I like moving forward. I don't want to be that crusty old fuck who like still has like the Hitler style haircut, like, and keeps it on lock with the pomade, and be like, when I was young, minorities knew their role. Like, just get over it. Like, we're moving forward.
Going forward.
Okay, so Minecraft. Adam, you got anything?
It's not something that's out yet, technically, but I'm looking forward to the re-release of Pikmin 3. I know you have mixed feelings about Nintendo re-releasing all their stuff all the time, but...
They're not very mixed.
Well...
pretty one-sided.
I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. I've been hankering for a Pikmin game, but they're introducing co-op play into this one, so I'm looking forward to playing it with Mercy, who hasn't played it before.
Listen, if I had anything successful, and I could also then take that success and parlay it into a re-release every 4 years and have people be like, hey, whoa, it's the same thing again. I'd fucking do it.
That's the dream.
What Nintendo's doing right now
that.
is going, oh, fuck, nobody bought any of our games when they were on the Wii U. Quick.
What? So then it's still status quo. Like, it wasn't, they never deviated from the thing. They were never like, do you think we should not make a Zelda? Like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, Bridgestone's gonna be like, what if we didn't make a tire? Fucking come on. Yeah, like, what if Bridgestone started making sandwiches?
Ooh.
6-foot tires.
Lots of tread.
You made it sound sexual.
Rye tread or wheat? Right, guys? Anyway, you guys, if you want to get in contact with us,
I think Dutch Crunch
multiple.
makes a better tread.
Dutch Crunch?
You've never had Dutch Crunch bread?
No, I don't even have bread.
It's really good.
David doesn't like bread. You'll have to sell him on some Dutch Crunch cauliflower.
Yeah, you cauliflowerize that. No, I don't even like cauliflowers. Ugh. I know it's a big up in the keto community, but wow, no, thank you. Guys, if you want to get in contact with us, there's tons of ways you can. We've got the email address that no one can remember. We're on Twitter, on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We got the group there. We're on Discord, too. You can find the link on our Facebook if you want to or whatever. It's somewhere if you want to get involved. I guess that's it. I don't have anything. I didn't recommend anything.
I recommend Among Us. That's a fun game.
It's good.
Oh, yeah, Among Us. But that's like, recommending Air. Everybody's had it by now.
Whatever.
Like, I can't believe... Just like a cursory glance into how popular that thing became, it's like the Fortnite of phone games.
Well, and it was out for a while, and then suddenly became popular like years later.
Every time I see something like that, where it's like, oh, this thing blew up, and like, oh, it was released 2 years ago, but sat on a shelf and no one got attention. I always in the back of my mind hope, could that be us?
Could be.
It's going to be.
Any day now.
Nah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Among Us got 2 years to wait, and we've had 13.
Oh, God.
So
just means it's going to hit harder and faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, faster?
When it does happen.
We're going to be torn apart.
It would have to go so fast, it would have to pull us back in time. It would have to Doc Brown our asses. Maybe. I'll accept. If the amount of money thrown at me rips the fabric of space and time.
It's going to be like being hit by the atomic bomb in Terminator 2,
Yeah, it's just but hundreds, y'all. Yeah, but instead
That's
of all your skin ripping. Yeah, when you see that, like, here's another thing I'm going to do when I'm rich. I'm going to reshoot that sequence. And when the kids and everybody on the playground is about to get blown up by the A-bomb, the moms are going to come in, and like I'm just going to have like a couple of like Abercrombie and Fitch models just run through throwing stacks of cash at each other, being like ha ha ha, and like maybe throw some at the kids and the moms, and they get covered in hundreds and eventually get covered up, and then there's Sarah Connor like no, and then like just a wave of hundreds just blast her away, and she's like this money monster like ah. Listen, guys, I need your money because I need to do stupid things with it.
Please, think of David, won't you?
Think of the children, and by that I mean me. I have childlike inhibitions.
If you donate to David, you will get this tote bag emblazoned all over with the color brown.
The color brown. Mm-hmm. I'll even... no, I'll leave the hole. Guys, thanks for listening, everybody. Guys, am I missing anything, or is it time to shut it down?
It's time to shut up.
All right. So, guys, maybe I'll plug this. If you're listening to this, hopefully it's out before then, but the boys are on the live stream the 16th. Maybe I'll release this
Friday.
that day. Who knows? Friday.
Oh, is that this Friday?
No, this is Friday.
Is it this Friday as we're speaking?
It's coming Friday.
Oh, shit. We might have some schedule juggling. So if you're listening to this, it may make no sense and not happen. Holy shit. So instead of waste any more of your valuable time, I'll say I'm Dave.
I'm Krista.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Adam.
Saying, remember, kids, got nothing for the end. See you next week.
or they try to.
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.